In the summer of '81, Jim Belcher took off for a 2-week fishing trip in Alaska. Ainsley was 7 and Ethan was 5. Gloria had just been promoted to dining room manager at Captain Toss's seafood restaurant and was in unusually good spirits, frosting her hair and buying short suits at Feline's basement at the Holyoke Mall. Even at home, her gait had a gyrating spring to it, as if her backside were still the viewing target of a counter full of lunching tradesmen. She cheerfully helped Jim pack for his lifelong dream trip, brought him a quilted reversible jacket, hand warmers. When the family loaded him and his poles onto the Bonanza bus for New York City, not even Jim, embarrassed by unexpected tears, had an inkling he wasn't coming back.
Reuben, the Belcher's tenant, introduced Ainsley to the clarinet that summer. For 30 years, he had played with the Boston Symphony Orchestra before a complete physical and mental breakdown had broken him permanently. She would lay the instrument flat on his bed with the mouthpiece hanging over the edge and toot into it, standing, playing an open G while he sat in an unraveling rattan chair and mumbled encouragement. Outside, Ethan would throw up gravel. Every now and then, a small white piece would sail through the open window, and Ainsley would go down to keep him company.
Like a goat, Ethan had eradicated any sign of greenery in the fenced-in yard. Possessed of a mind that was a train yard of derailing and colliding engines, his body had its own uncontrolled velocity. His ability to effect total change on his surroundings in seconds was noteworthy for one so small. At 5, he was forbidden from the local supermarket. An electrician's son, he aimed for current, plugging in and turning on anything that bore a cord. The Doberman next door lost all control of its bladder when within view of the tow-headed boy. Only Ainsley could contain and calm her brother. Her love for him was predicated on a need so great she was not to be budged from it. She forgave him for putting her hamster in the freezer, he said he thought it would hibernate, and for washing all her stickers in the bathtub.
By the fall of '81, Gloria's bright spirits had dimmed, her backside uncoiled. She was working 12-hour days and had exchanged her high heels for sneakers. Jim's last card, a picture of disoriented caribou grouped by the pipeline, offered one sentence expressing a need for time to think. She was rarely home, and when she was, she slept. The household subsisted on a steady seafood diet from the restaurant, cookies St. Jack for breakfast, clam chowder for snack. Great Aunt Lou did the housekeeping, moving with the Hoover slowly, steadily, from room to room and floor to floor, like a sea snail in an aquarium, sucking up debris.
The day before he was to enter kindergarten, Ethan disappeared. Ainsley found him after midnight buried in the back of the cake room. A professional cake decorator, Great Aunt Lou had saved every cake that hadn't sold or been picked up. The sewing room on the 3rd floor had become storage for hundreds of cakes in white boxes, some as old as 30 years, sculptures of hardened wedding cakes, 4th of July cakes, ornate icing designs now rigid as set plaster. After Ainsley had helped Ethan crawl out, she tucked him into bed with the 3 clamshells he had guarded from dinner the day before.
It was chilly that night. A frost was predicted. She closed the window down hard on the rake rigged out the window with a 20-foot piece of string at the tip. "I'm fishing for Daddy," Ethan would wail at Gloria every time she tried to take it down. Cold wind ripped through the room and cracked past the rake handle. As Ainsley burrowed down deep in her bed, she pictured her father on an ice floe, with a polar bear, surrounded with time to think. Ethan's eyes were closed and twitching. His fearful dread of his imminent academic career was in fact wholly justified. In actuality, not an unadmirable indication of self-knowledge and awareness of his own limitations.